Welcome to the episode 1 of Unveiling the Essence of Wisdom. This episode is named The Wisdom of Personal Experience. Today, I want to delve deep into some of the secrets of what wisdom is and where does it derive from. In specific, I want to discuss personal experiences and what is the wisdom we get from our personal experiences and what is the significance of it in our lives. But I think before we begin, we need to decide on what is wisdom, because I've heard a lot of different definitions. The dictionary defines wisdom as the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. And on the surface, that seems like a good definition, but I would add to it. I've always thought of wisdom as the ability to apply knowledge effectively through lessons you've learned through your experiences and observations. But am I correct? It's my firm belief that in our modern society today, we've lost touch with the notion of wisdom to some extent. And I think it's to our detriment. Many people conflate having a high IQ with being wise or having the ability to manipulate others as being wise. Still, more than a few people that I've met and spoke with think possessing the ability to make a lot of money makes you wise. And all of those are true to some extent, but they're not really the essence of wisdom. Older generations in my life called wisdom common sense, and so and some people classify wisdom as a mix of common sense and high intellect. So often with people, wisdom comes back around to intelligence. But in my estimation, intelligence is something very different from wisdom. Author Sandra Carey said, "Never mistake knowledge for wisdom. One helps you make a living, the other helps you make a life." Now, I think that's profound because intelligence tells you that having an extra piece of cake is bad for your health, but wisdom is what keeps you from eating it. Intelligence tells you it's cold outside, but wisdom tells you to go in and get a coat. Lots of brilliant people make unwise decisions every day, and lots of intellectually challenged people make good choices. I think we've all seen that happen in our lives. I think we've been shocked by people that we didn't necessarily think of being very smart, but they were very crafty and very cunning. And then there are people we know and we think highly of. They may be a doctor or a lawyer or have some kind of high degree, and we learn that they're not the brightest bulbs in the package. The wise bartender is a commonly used trope in Hollywood, or the sage bus driver that helps the hero or the protagonist of the story find their way through some folksy common sense wisdom. So on some level, we all know that wisdom isn't exactly correlated with intellect. But when you ask people, they always mention intelligence. So my question is, how do we achieve wisdom? If we're seeking to lead wise lives, where do we go to learn wisdom? Also, ask this question. Does having wisdom lead to a better life? Let's tackle the last question first. I don't believe it's controversial to say that being wise does lead to a better life, or at the very least, a more successful one. A wise parent, one would imagine, would have a better results parenting than an unwise one. A wise driver should have fewer accidents than an unwise one, and so on and so forth. Do you want an unwise pilot flying your plane? Do you want an unwise general leading the army? Of course not. So I think it's safe to say wisdom, when applied to skills and ability, does enhance your life and possibly, to a great extent, the lives of those around you. Is a man truly wise if he never affects anyone else in a positive way but himself? There's a question for philosophers. Where do I go to achieve wisdom? Well, I go lots of places. But today I want to talk specifically about learning from personal experiences. Award-winning author and thought leader Frank Sonnenberg says, lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. And I would tend to agree with him. Have you ever noticed that you seem to date the same toxic personality type over and over? Or that you keep working for the same poisonous manager? These negative experiences seem to persist throughout our lives until we choose to deal with them. And that in dealing with them, I think we attain wisdom. I think we all know this on some basic instinctual level, but can't seem to get out of our own way. Everyone knows that life experiences play a significant role in the development of wisdom, because only experiences, both good and bad, allow us to gain insight and learn valuable lessons about our lives. But do we fully grasp how those lessons go on to shape our perspectives? Steve Maraboli, a decorated military veteran and philanthropist, once said, letting go means to realize that some people are part of your history, but not part of your destiny. Insight like that can only come from experience. What painful experience led Maraboli to this insight? Or was he wise in his observation of others? Is the observation of someone else's experience a personal experience for you? I believe it is. It's my belief that learning by watching others go through trials is probably the best way to learn. Do you need to get burned by the stove to know it's hot? Or do you need to see your sibling or friend touch that burner and cry? It's a good question, and it seems obvious. Yet many people watch others go through hell and walk that very same path of pain following right behind them. Have you done this? Have you watched others do this? What is it inside of us that makes us believe that what we just witnessed one person attempt to do and fail, that we can do? I suspect it's because we feel things will be different for us. We tell ourselves that can't happen to us. Or we'd utter the most unwise statement of all, things will be different this time. Yet inevitably, sometimes things are different. People do hit the lottery, no matter the long odds. And on occasion, a kooky conspiracy theorist at work turns out to be correct and the government is lying. I know, shocker, right? So is wisdom the ability to know when to lean on your personal experience and when not to? I've seen people engage in unwise actions and win. I've seen people play it safe and lose. Perhaps wisdom is knowing when to take a chance and when not to risk it. A balance between the two could be considered wisdom. Wisdom is elusive. YouTube channels fail all the time, and wisdom tells me I'll probably fail at this as well. But wisdom also tells me I won't be happy unless I try. Not only is wisdom elusive, wisdom is complicated. We form our opinions on life around each experience we face and conquer. All the bad and good experiences shape our stereotypes and our belief systems. Hell, they even shape our sense of identity. What happens to wisdom when our experiences lie to us, though? A few bad experiences with a race or a group of people can inevitably affect how we see those others. To what degree do we give credence to our biases? What formula regulates this? Wisdom? I think so. So what have we determined? For me, I would sum wisdom up by saying it's the ability to learn from personal and observed experiences and utilize that knowledge to improve your life and the lives of others. And going forward on this channel, that's what I hope to do. Thank you for listening, and join me again soon as I dive deeper into other sources of wisdom and I talk about wise thinkers and philosophers. And let me know in the comments below if you have other sources of wisdom you would like me to talk about. Also, what's the wisest advice you've ever been given? I'd love to know. I hope you found this insightful. Have a wise day.